So I just want to make a quick video displaying my Ramvik IKEA table conversion to Multicade. Currently I'm running a 60-in-1 iCade PCB in here, and basically what I did was I took an IKEA Ramvik coffee table, which you've probably seen multiple different conversions, things that people can do. Basically I took that and I installed a 30-inch monitor. I didn't want to do the 19-inch one in this one because I thought it might be a little bit too small for the table, and I like how centered and big the 30-inch monitor looks. Basically, if you've never seen or are unfamiliar with the IKEA Ramvik tables, basically it is hollow underneath. They're very sturdy, surprisingly. They're really sturdy. And basically what they do is they have drawers that slide out on the sides. And what that is that means all of this is hollow. So the 30-inch monitor actually takes up a lot of room on the inside. So what I did is, instead of using this as a drawer, what I did was I put it on Euro hinges. I took off the slides and the guides on the side, and I replaced them with Euro hinges on the side, or right here. So you can kind of see what I've got going on in there. I sawed some PVC, and that is to hold up the monitor. I have the PCB board here on feet, obviously the power source and whatnot, and everything's wired in there, and I kind of have everything in there as clean as I can get it. So basically what I wanted to do is I wanted to make this fold down so it was easy to access. There's nothing more frustrating than having to, unscrew a door or do a million different things to get to the electronic components. Let's say your PCB board goes out, your power source burns out, any number of things. You need to change a power cord. Everything's really easy to access right here, just like this. So, and I also put magnetic clips on here, so it's pretty sturdy. So what I did for the controls is come over here, and I left this one on the runners. Now what I did was, I've seen multiple different versions of people doing conversions for Ramvik tables to Multicades and how they put in their control panels. And I was inspired by a few that I saw on YouTube, but what I wanted to do myself was I wanted to kind of convert it a little bit differently. And some of the other ones seemed a little bit overly complicated. So basically what I did was I used this piece right here was part of what I cut out in the middle. I basically circular sawed it from the underside. The reason why I did it from the underside is because it gives a groove, like a curvature to it, as opposed to using like a jigsaw. And so I wanted the curvature to stay on the underside, if that makes any sense. So what I did for this is I will go into this a little bit more, because actually I'm switching out my joystick. So that means I'm going to take the table apart in just a few minutes. But for right now, I just kind of wanted to show you how clean it works. It's tough to do with one hand right now, but basically you need two hands to do this. It's not going to work. Hold on. So basically you push both of these things down, and then when you let it go, I have it basically spring-loaded on bungee cords. Now, I've seen other people use chains and other mechanisms, and I'm going to go into that because the problem is that when I was looking up these conversion tables, there were a lot of people who had their own version of something like this with the drawer going back, but either they didn't want to explain it fully, or B, they did a terrible job of explaining it. So what I wanted to do is I really wanted to, that's the purpose of this video, is to kind of show you what I did and how I made this drawer actually work. So you pull it out and it locks into place. These are child-proof locks for doors. You could buy like 10 in a package from I bought it from Home Depot. Let me just show you there are a million of them just falling out over here. It's just spring-loaded drawer latches. They were sold as like a child's, kind of like a safety latch. And so what I did was I took this piece right here so it matches the actual wood. I've seen a lot of other people use different metals and old control panels that just didn't match, and I wanted to kind of flow a little bit so it looked a little bit nicer. I also complemented it with dark buttons. I was going to put in like different, louder buttons and whatnot, but I think that it kind of adds to the darkness of it, and I kind of like how sleek it looks. What I would have liked to have done was spray paint these black, because the white is, I don't know, a little bit loud for it. but unfortunately they're plastic. So what's going to happen is that you're going to scratch it with your nail, or you're going to scratch it enough, and then it's just going to look like black with white scratches all over it. So anyways, this is also mounted on 2 pieces of PVC on the inside. It's also bolted to the inside. So there is some give in between here. What I also did is, I'm going to pull this out a little bit more, is I put a fake back to the back of the drawer right here. Basically what I did was I used the back, this back right here was the back of the drawer that used to be over there. And basically I cut it and affixed it into the sides so I could use it to put on these latches that hold extremely well. I was really surprised. I was a little leery to see how well the plastic would. So I wood glued it, and I also used 2 screws on the bottom, so these things are not going anywhere. They're extremely solid. The reason why I'm just changing this out right now is just it's an old joystick that I had from an old another conversion that I had. I just didn't like the play on it. It's really stiff. It's not very responsive, so I'm actually going to switch it out right now. So, but anyway, so there is about 3 inches, 2.5 inches underneath this right here on the side and the bottom, obviously for the micro switches and for to give play on the underneath of the joystick, and for the micro switches for the buttons over here. So basically, yes, this is from that part. I basically sawed it, put PVC under it, attached it so it's like solid under here. This is not moving anywhere. You can beat this thing up and the drawer stays put. It stays affixed. That's the one thing that I was worried about, was being able to put some kind of spring-loaded mechanism where the drawer wouldn't slide back every time you got like really intense on a game. So basically, like, even if you pull it, it's still just gonna stay locked. But you know. So basically, let's get out of this. You can really kick its ass, and it's not going to go anywhere. Everything's really sturdy. So basically, what I'm going to do is and then for the bezel, what I did was I used a piece of, what is that, like kind of construction paper, like the large pieces of construction paper that you use for like kids projects. And then what I did was I painted it with a roller to give it a little bit of texture, and a flat black. That way it kind of matched a little bit to the background. Kind of it gave it like, I always like framing things out with bezels. I don't like the rawness of the inside of the wood. I also painted the inside of the wood right in here, just black, just so you can't really see it. So it just matched the edge of the monitor. But the 30-inch monitor in there makes it look amazing. That's what I think. The 19-inch monitors in here, yeah, you can use one. You'll have significantly more space, but the 30-inch monitor, just when people come in, they just see it and they're just blown away at like how awesome and massive it looks. What I really wanted to do was a 32-inch monitor, but unfortunately it would have gone too close to the edge. And you'll see what I'm going to talk about like once I take this apart and show you the inside and the inner workings. Because what I really wanted to do was I just wanted to post a video that basically showed my drawer mechanism. There's a million of these Ramvik Multicade conversions out there, but what I really was proud of was the drawer mechanism. I know, so basically what I wanted to do was, I just kind of wanted to give you a once-over of see how it looks, see how it functions and everything. It's only 1 player, well, I mean, it's 2-player, but it's only 1-player side, because obviously that is over here. I had to use for all the components and electronics. So once again, it goes like this, and there's a little sawdust in there. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to, okay, so I just took off the glass and the bezel, which are over there, and so you can see how the monitor is mounted in there. Basically how I centered it was I just basically drew like a little dot on this, I measured it exact, you know, with in the middle, in between here, basically put a little dot on the monitor on each thing and lined up all the dots. That's how I got it to be exactly centered. And if you see again, once again, painted the inside of the black. But I just wanted to show right now how the monitor is mounted in there without the glass and the bezel before I take it out. And now I've currently taken out the monitor, taken off the VGA cables and the power cord, and exposed the inner workings of all of this. So obviously, basically what I do is I like to use a 3-prong power plug just to plug in the monitor and the power supply into it right there, instead of having multiple cables running out of it. You can get these things for, if you go to like Target after the holidays, you can get them for like $3, so I always stock up on them. I drilled a hole, multiple holes in the bottom for the speaker. Also, this part in the middle was solid all the way through. Basically, I cut it out like that just so it would, the monitor will fit in there and hold it. Basically, what I did was I put Velcro, some industrial strength Velcro on here. Obviously, it's not the cleanest job, I'm well aware, but what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep it in there just so it would keep it a little bit sturdy and hold it in place so it wouldn't move around. There's not much play within the cutout of the top, which basically frames around the entire monitor. So, but there's not much play around it. But even so, I just didn't want to give it too much room, too much wiggle room. Just, you know, because it sounds too much, like it sounds messy sometimes when it like rattles around. I put on L brackets on here to hold it together because it's missing the dowels and the screws that basically used to hold it together. So what I wanted to do was now the wood lays on here and I screwed on top, so it gives it extra support now. Obviously mounted this with some feet, mounted that, your VGA cord, your power cords, and we'll get over to the drawer mechanism now. Hold on. Okay, so what I did was I used 2 bungee cords, just got them at Home Depot, and what I did was I cut out the back of the drawer, not very clean, I'm not gonna lie, but I cut it out so that it will go underneath the monitor. Obviously the monitor is bigger than the drawer is gonna hit it, so what I did was I cut it out. Don't judge me, I did it in my bathtub. Listen, I live in an apartment and I didn't want to go back out to the alley to saw, so anybody who tells you that, oh, I don't have enough room to make one of these, I don't have enough room. Listen, I've restored 16 or created 16 multicades in an apartment, first starting off in a studio apartment, now in a 1-bedroom apartment in the heart of Chicago. So what I did was I took these 2 on here, and what I did was I screwed it into here. And then I screwed it into here. So what that does is it gives it obviously the spring motion. So you get that. I mean, bungee cord, I know it's not like the cleanest looking thing, but it's effective and it's sturdy and it's going to last. These bungee cords are, I mean, I know a lot of people are worried about like the elasticity, isn't it going to hold up? It's not like you're playing with it, you know, like every, 5 minutes, and these bungee cords are going to last years. I've had bungee cords for literally decades that I still use, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's the mechanism that I did. But it's super simple, it's super cheap, it's really easy. Basically, I just did 2 instead of 1 just to give it a little bit more kind of like pull. I measured it out to see how long the distance would be before it reached its maximum stretch. And basically what I did was, again, oh, this popped out. Let me put this back in. But anyways, so yeah, so that's how I did it. It just clips onto the top, blah blah blah, and then you just obviously push these down, and it bounces right back. So I think it's one of the easier things to deal with. I've seen other people use very elaborate things and impressive looking, beautiful mechanisms for their drawers and their control panels, but for me, this is, I believe, probably one of the easier things to do. One, it's very effective, it's extremely cheap, and if something breaks or if something needs to be replaced, it can be done super easy in a matter of 15-20 minutes, and it won't cost you anything more than $10. So that's what's great about this, is that it still looks great, and it still functions really well. It's going to last, and it's very durable. So that's what I wanted to really kind of show off, was how I went and just kind of affixed these here, just screwed them in. They had little metal clasps that I bent over. I'm not worried about them moving at all, and so, or opening up at all. And so, as you can see, yeah. So, obviously ran the cords through there. And so yeah, leave any comments if you want to in the comment section. I'll read everything. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And now that I put the whole thing back together, this is what it looks like while it's off. Obviously it's not smoked glass, so you can see the bezel and the monitor through the glass, but Honestly, I would have put the smoked glass in there, but it would have probably been another $120 at my local glass shop. So, but I still think it looks cool. It's, you know, a fully functional table. I replaced the joystick. Much easier, smoother. But other than that, that's what it looks like.